Time for the Spectres to frag the game.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Fragging the Game. I'm Spectre Fedsen. Today I'm joined by my brother, Spectre Senensi. Today's episode we're taking a look at the new Tomb Raider. Let's go ahead and take a look at a little gameplay first.
That the extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are. I'd finally set out to make my mark, to find adventure, but instead...
Let go, you bastard!
Help you!
Look at the new Tomb Raider, and that was the Xbox 360 version. Spectre Senensi here was gracious enough to let me log some game time to try it out. He is actually a longtime Tomb Raider fan, so he's got more experience with the Tomb Raider series than myself. This is an interesting version of Tomb Raider. Instead of being a sequel to what we've seen in the past with Underworld, Legends, and the more recent ones, this is taking a step back. It's more of a prequel to the Tomb Raider.
A reboot, yeah, definitely a reboot into the series, which is interesting, you know, because of the companies that's still kind of involved with what's going on. I was really surprised to go in this approach, but refreshing. It was really, really refreshing to get my hands on this and start over and play as Lara Croft in her very beginnings.
And it is the very beginnings. As you play through it, you're learning how to be Lara Croft as she's learning how to be Lara Croft. She's not doing the flips and jumps and wielding the dual guns when you first start off. She's basically getting her butt kicked.
Yeah, that was the thing that got me right off the bat was you play a lot of games and you're used to being this action hero over the top thing. And you are feeling the vulnerability of Lara Croft as a young woman. And right off the bat, like you said, as you can see in this gameplay, it just... Bam! You're surviving, and it gets tougher and tougher as it goes through. Not in gameplay part of it, but just surviving. It's just really, really awesome to have that type of refreshing approach to go into a game instead of like, oh, like you said, I'm gonna do a flip and wield pistols while I'm still shooting at bad guys. Now I'm lucky if I can grab the ledge right and make that leap and cross a log.
You make one leap and then you don't make the next.
Yeah.
The basics of the game, it falls in line with the rest of the Tomb Raider. It's an action survival, third person, as you go through it. The graphics on this game are phenomenal. It's like playing a movie in some points with the background, what you're seeing in the environment, and then as you go. They did a really good job.
And you had mentioned that you, like you said, you played when you got a little bit of your intro part. I went through it myself, and I didn't know when the cutscene stopped and when I was supposed to take control of Lara. It's that good, and it gets good because most of the time I've been playing a lot of the other Tomb Raiders before. You can almost see the disparity of something you're supposed to interact with. Without survival instinct, you would not know what to interact with. It's that solid pretty well. It takes a little bit to recognize the detail of some of the things, but the graphics are well designed because the island is well designed. There's a real rich history of what's going on as you explore with Lara. Everything fits, it makes sense, and having traversed some very weird stuff in some of the previous Lara titles, you didn't have to go through a lot of that crazy. I mean, you know, traveling a plane, it's dangerous, you know it was dangerous, you're hoping that makes part of it. It wasn't these like blocky ledges that you're all, you know, you're trying to do a bunch of little crazy things with. So very neat like that. The graphics, like you said, you're right. Absolutely, absolutely nice.
And you're right, the island is extremely well designed. I made the comment very early on that it was like I was in the show Lost. going down some dark holes and going through the bush. The sound on the game is phenomenal. As you're running through the island, you've got the rain falling, you can hear that. You've got birds that you can hear in the background, thunder. It's very realistic. They took a lot of time on the background sounds, not just the game and the audio of playing through, but again, it's like a movie experience.
Yeah, and the actress that they got for playing Laura, she's really realistic. Everyone's kind of really drawing your emotions into the situation of, you know, you're trying to survive, and the guy's coming at you. It's awesome.
Yeah, the actress Camilla Luddington. Some of you might know her from True Blood. She's also new to the Grey's Anatomy series and was in Californication. So, you know, they went out and found someone that I think fits the role for the reboot of Laura.
Yeah, and Xbox did a really good job on their dashboard hub. You can find some of the intro early parts to this that was covered in. But yeah, she poured her heart into it. She's really quick to give that emotion of surviving. I mean, I don't know how many times I felt as desperate in the situation as she was because of her acting. You really bought into it.
That's true. Let's go ahead and take a little bit more of a look at the gameplay on that survivability that she needs to have.
Is anyone listening? Please respond. Could have warned me about the wolves, Doctor. I'm heading in.
Are you sure about this, Lara?
I'll get them. I'll come back.
She's the one. Soon, my brothers, we will be reborn. Take her to the throne room. Your fight is over, creature.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get over the graphics on this game for a while. Next episode, I'll be talking about Assassin's Creed 3, and the graphics on that are great as well, but I think Tomb Raider is a step above that game. Playability of this game, very similar to the past Tomb Raider, Lara Croft games. Very easy to figure out her moves and navigating through the game.
It's a little she's actually a little easier, depending. I haven't tried the hard challenge yet, but it's a little easier. The game is very forgiving. It allows you to really jump in and really play into this role. It's a very story mode type of game to get into, so I like that part of it. There have been Tomb Raiders in the past. One of the things is the puzzles, I guess, that can really hinder you. The puzzles being the crazy timing thing, some of the achievements in the game were time challenges, those are really kind of gone. They're very simple because they make sense. You know, the puzzles in before were like, extravagant, put boulder over here, all the way across the room so it drops just right, and then you have literally 10 seconds to make the jump to get over there. You don't have those type of aggravations.
But it fits in with the storyline. This young first look at Lara Croft, she's not going to be able to hit those puzzles and make that 10-second dash where, 5 games from now, looking ahead, she's at that level and she
There are some tombs in here that you can find that are outside the story arc that she kind of uncovers on the island because it's an old island. And do have very small pieces of that. Like, they're just a little bit of timing, that's it. Not like a bunch of series of it. So, very easy for everyone who was a casual fan, and definitely you don't have to have gotten to all of this to know Lara Croft or really care about the 2 movies. It's something to begin. It's the beginning, so you can now begin to jump in, learn, and it's a very, very easy game to get your handle on and enjoy it.
What's your feeling on the replayability of it? If you finish the storyline, going back through and hitting some of the areas you missed, maybe maxing out some of the challenges.
Yeah, it's got a little bit more length to it. I've actually stopped getting into the full storyline because I have acquired some more upgrades. It plays a little bit, I guess my similar thing would be Legos, where you get a new ability and then you go back to the level to try to open up things that you couldn't get into before. So there's a little bit of that, and there are ways to make it a little easier for you. It's not as drastic, so hopefully you'll be able to do a lot of that. So yeah, it's easy. You get right into it pretty well. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's just like a simple. It's not. I don't think it has the serious depth of perhaps like Final Fantasy or something that's going to cost you 100 hours, like Skyrim or something like that. It's a very compact game, and if you understand compact games, that's what you're talking about. The graphics, the sound, the acting, the area that you're in is very, very well designed. You got very good grips of this. Not let's make a Grand Theft Auto sandbox that you can't reach to all the ends and wonder why you're going to have issues. It's smooth. I don't see any glitching. I don't see any things like too much of that happening. I've only seen a couple times where a body would fall through something that was substantial in the thing, but most stuff, I don't. Tomb Raider was one of those, like you turn the angle and you lose the map and you couldn't see. None of that I've found in this 360 version.
So I think we both agree the entertainment value of this game is very high.
Very high. Very, very high.
On that note, you mentioned some of the past companies involved. Square Enix was the final company putting this together. It ended up 40 plus awards from E3, and you play this game, you'll see why. I'm going to give this game an easy 4 out of 5 grenades. If there was a half a grenade, I'll throw the half a grenade in there. 4.5 out of 5. And honestly, I couldn't give you a reason why I wouldn't give it the 5th one. This game is,
the multiplayer that they threw in would take it away.
And that's probably where it's at.
That's where a lot of that I've seen a lot. The multiplayer was one of those, we're going to throw it in because
people like multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer. But it's not what Lara Croft is. It's the characters in there have no substance. I've talked to a couple other gamers, and it really just has a lot of holes. It's not one of those games. It's not something that's going to draw you in. It's not Call of Duty. It's not your Battlefields. It's not your Halos. You're not going to have a lot of fun with a lot of it. It's, because you're losing survival. Hunting other players, I don't think, is the draw.
Yeah, and I think that's taking away from the tradition of the Tomb Raider game. So that would probably be the biggest thing in keeping it from a straight up 5 out of 5. So
yeah, if the company, Square Enix, Eidos, Crystal Dynamics getting involved in this, you did well with the Guardian Light when you did the Xbox Arcade. If you want to put more people in Tomb Raider, do co-op. I know just one person gets to play Lara, but it worked in your arcade version. If you can kind of work along that, she had a lot of interesting characters around her in this one. I think you can do more with that if you want to put that option in there, if you want more people to play at the same time.
The co-op is picking up steam. Gears of War has been doing it for a while. Yeah. The new Dead Space 3 is taking that aspect on. Hopefully they'll be taking a look at that game in the very near future. So again, 4 out of 5 grenades in this game. Definitely worth the $60 to pick it up.
Or the collector's edition.
The collector's edition if you want to drop out a little bit more. Obviously the game's involved. You got the Lara Croft figure that's in here with a few extras on there. So the fans, such as Spectre Sinensi, pick this up. The casual fans of Tomb Raider like myself, we might just go out and buy the game, but it's definitely worth picking up.
Definitely get it.
Alright, that's it for this episode of Fragging the Game. Again, look for our next episode for Assassin's Creed 3, and please subscribe to our channel.
Subscribe.